This is another in the first read series where I read a poem by a poet I don't know or know very little about and just read for the sheer joy of having the experience of the poem. It might be completely off. I might come back and read this differently if I knew more about the poet's work. I think sometimes having an understanding of the poet's larger themes will make you read an individual theme quite differently. But for now, this is just a sheer joy of it. So this is in Springhouse, and it's from Samantha Zighelboim. It's called Because the Mountain Has a Shadow. It has a very kind of parable feeling to that title almost, or some kind of wisdom saying. I always look at the form before I read a poem, and I pick these randomly. I don't read them beforehand, so I look at the form first because I think it tells me a little bit about the tradition this person sees themselves within, and what kind of writing they think they're doing. When I look at this one, I'm a little frustrated because it's double-spaced. I don't like when I see double-spaced pieces because I don't know half the time whether the poet really meant a double-space or just the site likes to do it that way. That frustrates me because I want to know what the poet wants it as, not as what the site was. Since we have a double-space, I'm just going to treat it that way. I don't know why this specifically would be double-spaced because it looks like a fairly traditional open form piece. But I'll go with that. It doesn't look like a traditional piece. The lines look like they have different syllable counts, different meters. There's no rhyme on it specifically, so I'm just going to read it that way. Because the Mountain Has a Shadow. I watch TED Talks on the treadmill. While working out, this person watches TED Talks, right? Which is probably not uncommon to watch something while one works out. And then we have a colon, how to responsibly practice emotional hygiene, the neurochemistry of getting dumped, dogs and cats with depression and OCD, how dieting and exercise can cure our national traumas. So all these things that this person watches are listed here. And then they're about self-improvement or how to improve emotional and or physical kind of health, even with the dogs and cats, right? Was this kind of weird way in which what the person's doing and what the person is watching are kind of working together. And it's as if all the topics that the person watches are actually what society tells us that we should be working on as it is, as we work out, right? So this kind of double lens of what society tells us and then what there is. The next one shifts into, the next stanza shifts away from the TED Talks. It looks like when a man on a dark train platform says to me that the smell of my sweat makes him excited. I know theoretically I can briskly walk away at exactly 4.2 miles an hour. So the person knows they can walk away at this speed because of the TED Talks on the treadmill, because they're using the treadmill. But it's sad that it has to happen in the first place. On a dark plane platform, the person says the smell of sweat makes him excited. Just kind of weird, sad sense that people, one, would feel compelled to tell somebody else, to break into somebody else's space to tell them that, but that you would have to deal with that person, a stranger telling you that, because that's what I'd have to do, like walk away, make myself fit enough to hide. There's a kind of real kind of societal sadness in this. This person feels like they have to move away because they can't be safe just waiting for the train. He says there, hey there, big girl. This is kind of a play. I mean, I don't know this writer and stuff, but I'm assuming this is either, a character or the actual persona of the writer here. This person who's attracted to bigger people coming out and saying something which just, it's not appropriate, but that happens. Tell him a proverb I heard once, because a mountain has a shadow, it can move. This big, space has a shadow, it can actually move. Like she will have to move away from her. He thinks that's real cute. I increase my speed, so she's trying to walk away from him, it looks like, and he's following her with, this harassment, essentially. One talk is titled, Am I Dying? We're back to the TED Talks at the beginning. The honest answer. Another, how to grow a tiny forest anywhere. So it's this mix of, here are these TED Talks, which are telling us kind of societal topics, what society wants us to look like or be like or whatever it is. And this mix of having to get away from this person who's kind of creepy at the train station. Of course, I'm dying. And in my room, I'm sprouting a grove of miniature Douglas firs, which is kind of interesting. This kind of miniature Douglas firs, like a mountain, like this person is a mountain themselves and they're growing the firs on top of it, which kind of transforms this image of like a mountain as the big thing to something as a place of growth here as well. Interesting. I mean, it's an interesting little piece. I'd like to see how this fits into other pieces. I mean, I don't really know anything about the poet. The other piece here that I didn't read is called Fat Dream Number 14. Which is, I'm assuming, commentary on body image and something like this. Total assumption, could be completely wrong. But I think that shows up a little bit in this one. So I'm kind of curious to see how that would work out as a collection. So I'll have to check out this poet's work.